Take it they're pressing charges?
Yeah, well, he broke a globe and some UNICEF artwork.
Well, they're in on it too.
Okay, Mr. Klein, if you just...
I'm telling you, our whole way of life as we know it is in jeopardy.
I appreciate that information.
But I have the documented evidence. It's all in there. Show him.
Well, he's got these magazines here.
Conspiracy Review? Suppressed Truth Roundup?
The whole master plan is exposed.
Yeah, well,
You're still not convinced, huh? Would you like to hear the names of just a few of the people who have been on the Trilateral Commission?
Not particularly.
James Earl Carter. Heard of him?
Look, Mr. Klein...
Henry Kissinger. You heard of him? Walter Mondale.
Who? Mr. Klein, this is
John Anderson. George Bush. Now, you remember at the convention, everybody thought it was going to be Ford for Veep. You know what happened? David Rockefeller just picked up a phone, put in a call. Hey, Ronnie, forget Jerry, it's George. Bye. So, no matter who won in November, they had their man in the White House.
QAnon's like a right-wing marketing.
Now it is. All I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't real.
Oh man, Pizzagate. All right,
Pizzagate.
Seriously? You guys up all night talking nerd?
Well, I mean, he thinks that Q's posts were legit, and I'm saying they're propaganda, but he wants to.
First of all, shut it up. Secondly, one of you mentions Area 51 or a grassy knoll before I finish my coffee, you're gonna get punched.
Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is March 7th, and on today's podcast, we'll be covering a couple news articles and some memes. The articles included in today's podcast are R. Kelly blames parents for selling daughters to him. As we know, R. Kelly has been arrested in the state of Illinois. We know his past with dealing with underage girls, sex videos, also sexual assault. Also, speaking of sexual assault, we can look into the Miami Herald in this news article stating that Miami U.S. Attorney's Office recuses itself from Jeffrey Epstein's case. If you're unfamiliar with Jeffrey Epstein, I suggest checking out one of my long ago podcasts talking about Jeffrey Epstein Island. A lot of strange things going on there. Definitely check that out. I will leave that in the description box below. And my friends, before we go any further, would you please go ahead and click the bell to get notifications so when I post to this channel, you'll be the first to know. Also, follow me on Twitter at True Reporting, and don't forget to leave a like. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So, before we get into these articles, I wanted to touch base with you real quick. The intro video, isn't that very alarming? That they have been using the same tactics of propaganda and brainwashing from nationwide television, basically since dating back to Vietnam, making people seem crazy that they don't trust their government. Still going on today, my friends. Also, at the end of this podcast, I have found some incredible evidence actually showing in a post, a Q post, I believe, to be Donald Trump. It is a reflection from the pen. I do not know if Anons have come across this yet, but in my perception of things, I believe it to be Donald Trump, and I will be saving that for the end. So, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into this. Again, this is True Reporting. So we see here, R. Kelly blames parents for selling daughters to him. R. Kelly exploded with rage as he vehemently denied sexually abusing underage girls in a new interview aired Wednesday, and blamed the parents of the alleged victims for selling their daughters to him. This guy is a sociopath. The I Believe I Can Fly singer flew off the handle in his 80-minute sit-down with CBS this morning, co-host Gayle King, prompting the cameras to stop rolling at one point. 30 years of my career, y'all are trying to kill me. Kelly bellowed as he stood up, pounded his chest, and pointed directly at the camera. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. You just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it. Just before his emotional outburst, Kelly broke into tears as he insisted, I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my effing life. After Kelly's publicist intervened and calmed the singer down, the camera started rolling again as he was getting his makeup touched up. I hope this camera keeps going. This is not true. It doesn't even make sense, Kelly raged. Why would I hold these women? King gently urged the 52-year-old to not just rant at the camera. You sound like you're playing the victim here, she said. I'm just telling the truth, he replied. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Sylvester, pleaded not guilty last month to 10 counts. How did he plead not guilty? To 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. 3 of the 4 alleged victims were minors at the time. The alleged incident dated back to 1998. He's long been accused of holding some of the women hostage in his home as a part of a sex cult. But Kelly insisted he was in a relationship with the women, Jocelyn Savage and Israel Clary. What kind of love is it that keeps these young women away from their families, asked King. What kind of father, what kind of mother would sell their daughter to a man, he countered. So you're saying the parents handed their daughters, Israel and Jocelyn, to you? King asked. Is that what you're saying? He replied, absolutely. The R&B star said he agreed to do the CBS interview because he is very tired of all the lies. So, my friends, there's 2 sides of the story. We both know that this guy is a sexual deviant. On the other hand, we know that parents, some parents, very few parents, do not care about their children and they care about money. Thus, they sell them into child sex trafficking. It happens all throughout Hollywood. And maybe he is telling the truth, but it doesn't make it right. Am I right? I think I am. So whatever happens to him, I hope he gets the worst. And I hope the parents are involved in it. And I hope the parents get the worst out of it also. Moving on, my friends. Miami U.S. Attorney's Office recuses itself from Jeffrey Epstein case. Just days before a Friday deadline, the Justice Department has reassigned the Jeffrey Epstein victims' rights case to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Atlanta. The attorneys representing Epstein's victims said Tuesday. Miami federal prosecutors, in a letter to attorneys for the victims on Monday, said they had recused themselves from the case. According to Bradley Edwards and Jack Scarlora, representing Epstein's victims. Victims, wow, that's a huge word. The reassignment means that the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, Pack, will oversee the case for the government. Pack, a former Georgia lawmaker, was appointed Atlanta's chief federal prosecutor by President Donald Trump in 2017. That's really good. So we know that this attorney is definitely, or prosecutor, was put there by Trump, which is good because now they're going after Epstein again. The Justice Department is still under a Friday deadline for prosecutors to confer with the victims' attorney in an effort to settle the case. On February 22nd, U.S. District Judge Kenneth A. Mara in Palm Beach County ruled that federal prosecutors under former Miami U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta broke the law when they concealed a plea agreement from more than 30 underage girls in Palm Beach who had been sexually abused by Epstein, a multimillionaire. That's an understatement. He's a billionaire. New York hedge fund manager. Mara stopped short of avoiding the agreement, which granted Epstein an untold number of accomplices immunity from federal prosecution for sex trafficking crimes, provided Epstein plead guilty to minor charge in state court. At the time of the plea deal, federal prosecutors had gathered enough evidence against Epstein to write a 53-page Federal indictment, court records show. That is huge, my friends. An investigation by the Miami Herald, Perversions of Justice, found that after Acosta met privately with one of Epstein's lawyers, the government agreed to seal the plea agreement so that no one, not the victims, not even the state court judge who sentenced Epstein, would know the full extent of his crimes. Epstein, now 66, was allowed to plead guilty to prostitution charges and served 13 months in Palm Beach County Jail, where he was given liberal work release and allowed to travel to New York and his private island in the Caribbean during the subsequent house arrest. He was released in 2009 and now divided. And again, it says the Herald interviewed 4 of Epstein's victims who were as young as 13 at the time they were abused by Epstein. They said they felt betrayed by state and federal prosecutors who treated them like prostitutes instead of victims. 2 of them sued the federal government in 2008 under the Crime Victim Rights Act, which grants crime victims the right to be informed about plea deals and to confer with prosecutors. Mara, in a 33-page opinion, said prosecutors not only intentionally violated the Crime Victim Rights Act, but they misled the girls into believing that the FBI sex trafficking case against Epstein was ongoing, when in fact prosecutors had secretly closed it after sealing the plea bargain from the public record. FBI is crooked, man. Mara, noting that he reviewed affidavits, dispositions, and interrogatories, said Epstein worked in concert with others to obtain minors not only for his own sexual gratification, but also for his sexual gratification of others. Sick, sick, sick. The victims' attorneys Edward Scalora and Paul Castle have asked the Justice Department to throw out Epstein's plea agreement and reopen the criminal investigation. Edwards, who brought the victims' rights case against the government, said transferring the case to another jurisdiction is a prudent decision. I think it's good that we're going to get fresh eyes and a fresh opinion on the way the case was handled, Edwards said Tuesday. We were obviously in an adversarial posture with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Miami because they handled the case to begin with. Miami's new attorney, Ariana Fajardo Ashoran, who was appointed by President Trump in September, did not respond to a request for the comment. So, big things happening, guys. You can't tell me nothing's happening. If Epstein's going down, I want to see it with my own 2 eyes. Golden State Times, who is the only channel that I follow when Trump goes on for his rallies, for speeches, for interviews, no matter what, I follow them. And they said, YouTube is not sending notifications. National Security Border Patrol meeting. They're not sending notifications for me either. So, this is definitely censorship at its best. And these algorithms need to be lifted. Where real news makes history, QNN, hosted by Patriots and Anons. This is the future, my friends. We are the future. And then we see here, this is very interesting, my friends. This is Trump with Kim Jong-un, and we see the frog on the flower. Reminds you of anything? Pepe, Kek, praise Kek, right? Very interesting in my opinion. Interview with Rabbi Abraham Finkelstein. This is old, but I don't know if you're very aware of it, but this really did happen. And you can check this video out too. We steal between 100,000 and 300,000 children a year just here in the country. We drain their blood and we mix it with our own Passover bread, and then we throw the bodies into slaughterhouses that we own. And we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and in the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. And the people, they eat it for breakfast. They eat their children for lunch. And us Jews, we got to do what we do. Shills, we call it a hoax like they do it with everything they don't want you to look at. The statement made in the video you should check out. And all you have to do is be paying attention to see it. I'm telling you, it's real. I watched it myself. We see here, page 94, crime against children. This is a lot of stuff going on. She denied, lied, broke devices, bleached her server. These people are going down. The pedophilia is running rampant. Then we see 2 frogs. I like this picture. Reminded me of Kek. Then we see Skippy Podesta will work for walnut sauce. I bet you will. I hope you rot. Trump announces there is a cure for AIDS. Then FDA commissioner steps down. This is huge. HIV is cured in second patient, doctors report at New York Times. Such great news for so many, tremendous progress being made. And that was from yesterday. Scott Gottlieb, who has done an absolutely terrific job as commissioner of the FDA, plans to leave government service sometime next month. So, out with the old, in with the new, in with the trusted, right, my friends? We can see here, the Democrats at the swamp decided to take the route of presidential harassment. The NSA Gov has been heavily involved for much longer than many folks consider. Define the cure. These people are sick. The supreme art of war is subdue the enemy without fighting. I love it. Trump threatens to declassify devastating documents about Democrats. This was only about 3 months ago, November 28th, 2018. If they go down the presidential harassment track, if they want to go and harass the president and the administration, I think that would be the best thing that would happen to me. I'm a counterpuncher, and I will hit them so hard they'd never have been hit like that, he said during a 36-minute Oval Office shutdown. Trump initially agreed to declassify the documents, including text messages sent by former FBI officials James Comey, Andrew G. McCabe, as well as Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Robert Orr. Trump allies believe the revelations will show favoritism toward Hillary Clinton and a plot to take down Trump, and not just take him down, but assassinate him. Presidential harassment, my friends. The days before Friday deadline, the DOJ reassigned the Jeffrey Epstein victims case to the U.S. Attorney Office in ATL. U.S. Attorney Pack will oversee the case. Pack was appointed ATL's chief federal prosecutor by President Trump in October 2017. So I'm just showing to you that this is not a joke, that this is very real. And follow the sharp edge, by the way. Very good stuff. 1 year ago, my friends, today is the stage set for the drop of the HRC video. Raw video, 5x5, loud and clear. This video and possibly others like it will be the nail in the many liberals' coffins. Most anons believe this video is evident of Hillary doing awful things to a child. Oh my word. And speaking of awful things to a child, this is Disney. I believe this was reported yesterday and I saw it on Reddit. I was watching the Disney Channel and the boy love symbol was everywhere on this cartoon character. Please pay attention. There you go, my friends. Unbelievable. This is from the FBI logbooks. Basically looking for pedophilia symbolism that they use between one another for codes. Google has actively scrubbed Seth Rich from its search suggestions. Seth only leaving out the H. Nothing comes up of Seth Rich. Sad but true. Unbelievable. And are chemtrails real? Hey, you tell me. I found this picture today. Look at this. What is that? Have you seen this before? I find it very interesting. Unbelievable. Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch says, court order discovery will proceed whether or not Ms. Clinton decides to run for president. 10 witnesses scheduled to provide testimony to at Judicial Watch. Attorneys on email scandal. My Judicial Watch discussion, and it just goes on down. So, yeah. Discovery on Clinton email in Benghazi. Top Obama Clinton officials, Susan Rice, Ben Rhodes, to respond to Judicial Watch questions under oath. Huge. And Tom Fitton is right there. If you're unfamiliar, definitely check it out. Check him out. And Judicial Watch, by the way. She looks like a man. Look at that is Michelle Obama. Michael Obama, excuse me. Beast mode. She has traps bigger than probably her personal trainer. Look at her traps right here. Good gracious. And my friends, this is what I wanted to show you because I find it to be amazing. I don't know if an anon has talked about this, but in my personal opinion, that is President Donald Trump right here. The red face, the yellow tie, the black, dark blue suit. That is the presidential pin. We can pull back. I will show you this one more time. What are your thoughts on this? Me and the other gentleman that helps me with this channel showed this to me. And this is from 8chan. And I'm baffled. I believe that is President Trump. I don't know if that was supposed to be leaked like that or if anyone else has figured it out. But my friends, if you really do look at it, the yellow hair, the lighter blonde hair up here, the face, the collar, the dark blue suit, and a yellow tie. You say, well, you know, Trump only wears red and blue ties. Well, that's not the case. You can check here. Yellow tie. Donald Trump speaking at New England College. And right here. There's many more of these. Just Google. This is an older picture right here. Trump's in a CNN interview. Yellow tie. Same suit. Same color. Everything. So my friends, I am not trying to muddy the water or make us look like conspiracy theorists. But you tell me. Leave it in the comment section below and spread this video so that others may be able to see and make their own judgment, their own call. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, my friends, please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at True Reporting, and don't forget to leave a like. My friends, you can donate to this channel by going to my PayPal or my Patreon in the description box below. My friends, I hope you are being very kind and loving to one another. We are at the precipice of a great awakening, and I am so glad to be here alongside of you, my fellow digital soldiers. I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye-bye.